Welcome to today's explainer, everyone. Now, if you're learning English, you already know there's this one grammatical hurdle that literally almost everyone trips over. English grammar is notorious for being confusing, right? Well, today, we're taking on one of English's absolute trickiest tenses, the present perfect. But don't worry, we're going to figure this out together. So, let me ask you straight up. Have you ever struggled with English tenses? I mean, trying to talk about the past and the present at the exact same time, it's honestly like doing mental gymnastics. It can be incredibly frustrating. But as we go through this explainer, we're going to break it all down step by step so it finally actually clicks. Okay, here's our roadmap for today. First, what is the present perfect? Second, building affirmative sentences. Third, negatives and questions. Fourth, key time expressions. And finally, we'll practice together. This step-by-step approach is going to prevent any overwhelm, I promise.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. What is present perfect? The bridge between past and present.
Think of this tense as a literal bridge between the past and the present. It basically has three main jobs. We use it for things that happened in the past but are still super important right now. We use it to talk about experiences in our life. And we use it for actions that started in the past and are still continuing today. This whole bridge metaphor is absolutely crucial because every single one of these points is about connecting yesterday directly to today. Let's actually see these examples in action. I have finished my homework. She has visited London. We have lived here for 5 years. See what's happening there? If I say, I have finished my homework, that past action of finishing it means I'm totally free to go out and relax right now. The past is directly affecting the present.
Let's move to Section 2 and see how this builds. Building affirmative sentences, creating your bridge.
It turns out there's actually a super simple formula for all of this. Subject plus have or has plus the past participle, which you'll often hear called verb 3. Think of this as the foundational frame for the linguistic house we're building. Get this frame up, and everything else is just decoration.
What's really interesting here is how the rules split so perfectly. For the pronouns I, you, we, and they, your auxiliary verb is have. But the moment your subject is he, she, or it, you switch over to has. It literally is that straightforward.
Let's read through these affirmative examples together. I want you to really listen to the pairing of the subject with its correct verb. I have eaten breakfast. You have done your homework. He has finished his project. She has read the book. They have played football. Do you hear that rhythm? He has. They have. Honestly, training your ear to catch that rhythm is half the battle when conquering English grammar. All right, Section 3, negatives and questions, changing the flow. Now we need to look at the simple two-step transformation to turn a positive sentence into a negative one. Step 1, start with your affirmative sentence, like I have seen that movie. Step 2, just add the word not right after have or has. Boom. I have not seen that movie. That's the whole shebang. You just drop the not right into the middle of the bridge.
But here's the crucial point. How do native English speakers actually say this in everyday conversation? Well, we almost always mash have and not, or has and not, into short contractions, like she hasn't finished her homework, or they haven't arrived yet. Swapping in hasn't and haven't is a total game changer. It instantly makes your spoken English sound so much more natural.
All right, what about questions? Again, just 2 easy steps. Step 1, start with your affirmative sentence, like you have finished your homework. Step 2, simply swap the positions of the subject and the auxiliary verb. So you have flips around and becomes have you finished your homework? It's just a really simple, elegant little swap.
And obviously, if someone asks you a question, you need to know how to answer it, right? Check out this comparison. Has he eaten lunch versus the short answers, yes, he has, or no, he hasn't. The big takeaway here? You don't need to repeat the entire sentence. Just recycle the subject and the auxiliary verb. That right there completes our question and answer building blocks.
Moving on to Section 4, key time expressions, painting the house.
Now for the final layer of paint on our house, time expressions. Let's just read through these key words. Already, yet, just, ever, never, since, for, recently. What's absolutely fascinating here is that these act like crucial auditory signals. When you hear these specific words, they're usually your trigger telling you, I need to use the present perfect tense. Let's see these in their natural habitat. I have just finished my homework. Have you ever ridden a horse? She has lived here since 2020. We have known each other for 3 years. I really want to highlight how since and for in those last two examples perfectly reinforce our bridge metaphor. Saying since 2020 or for 3 years paints a vivid picture of an action starting way back in the past and continuing fluidly right up to this exact moment.
All right, Section 5. Let's practice together. Test your knowledge.
Okay, it's time for a rapid-fire practice round. Here is your first challenge. Fill in the blank. She blank her homework using the verb finish. Take a quick guess. Think about what goes with she and what the verb 3 of finish is. I'll give you a second to figure it out.
Got it? The answer is has finished. She has finished her homework. Awesome job if you nailed that. Just remember, she always pairs with has. Let's try another one.
Fill in the blanks for this one. Have you ever blank a dolphin using the verb see? Now look closely. This is a question. I want you to actively think about that question format we just went over. Remember the swap step by step? What goes in those two blanks? And the answer is, have you ever seen a dolphin? Fantastic work. This is a perfect example of how the subject you and the auxiliary verb have get swapped to build the question properly, with our past participle seen tucked right in there.
All right, one last multiple choice quiz question to really lock this in. They blank never visited Paris. Is it A, has, or B, have? Take a moment. This is your final test of confidence. Which word matches up with they?
If you chose B, have, you are 100% correct. They have never visited Paris. You guys did amazing today. You just learned how to use the present perfect to talk about your experiences and build a solid bridge from the past to the present. Now, I want to leave you with one final thought to immediately apply this to your own life. What is something amazing you have done recently? Think about it. Build that sentence in your head using the present perfect and just realize how far your English has come today. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer.